All right, joining us today on Pirate Radio Live, Dallas Cowboys team reporter Nicole Hutchison. Nicole, how you doing today?
I'm doing well. It's the off season now. OTAs is a lot of fun. Practice has been high energy. So, man, I'm excited. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Thanks for asking. When did OTAs begin? Was it Monday?
Monday. Yeah. So they begin Monday. What's today? Wednesday. So now day 3, technically.
Okay. What stood out to you the most in OTAs? I know not a lot's going to be shown in these early stages of off-season workouts, but just what stood out to you?
Yeah. So unfortunately, yesterday I had to miss practice. 50 minutes of it because I had my podcast during the time. But from the little bit that I saw, I mean, the energy's there. That's what I have not seen in the past here. You have like blasting music. The guys are kind of, dapping each other up after every play. But one thing that kind of stood out to me is the rookies, specifically Tyler Booker, who's certainly trying to demand that starting spot at right guard. There's a lot of good things happening though. So yeah, I know we're going to dive into another rookie that has been certainly setting the standard here for them for those classes as well.
Yeah, speaking of rookie, Shavon Revel, former Pirate, now with the Dallas Cowboys. Um, I thought it was a great pick. I hated it because I'm a Raiders fan, and we were right in that area, and we took a different cornerback in Darian Porter. But just what were your thoughts on the Shavon Revel pick?
Honestly, I had kind of mixed emotions about it just because, I mean, he's a guy that doesn't really have a lot of experience. It's unfortunate that he had to end the season with a torn ACL, but when you just look at the film, I mean, he fits in perfectly with the system that Matt Eberflus is trying to do as far as he wants a corner that can come up and tackle and be willing to tackle in the run game, but he also wants someone that can take on a receiver in man-to-man coverage. He is absolutely phenomenal and the little time that he did get a chance to play at East Carolina University. But when you just talk about his story too, he brings so much confidence no matter what he's been through. I got a chance to talk to him one-on-one, and one thing that he said that that separates him from the corners that are already here and other corners in the draft is just his hard work. Like, he's someone that's never going to stop working, and that's something that we desperately need, specifically in this secondary here in Dallas.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of his hard work here in Greenville, but him coming off the torn ACL, Trevon Diggs also coming off of an injury. What are their timetables for getting into training camp in the beginning of the season?
Right now, there's no timetables specifically for Trevon Diggs. He could miss a big bulk of the season just because it happened later in the season. And for Savone, they're really just not trying to force him out on the field right now. Just hearing from David Overstreet, he wants him to take his time. So if he's not feeling up for it too much, right now he's working with Britt Brown on the medical staff here in Dallas, off to the side at practices and things like that. But if he's not feeling up to speed, they don't want to force anything right now. So again, no timetables just yet. We're just kind of playing the waiting game on how they feel. But I did know that he did tell me in rookie minicamp he was trying to get in on some reps, but the coaches told him absolutely not. We're not letting you do that. So I know he's eager to get on the field for sure.
Yeah, we saw him out at Pro Day, and he talked about his progression afterwards when we talked to him. But just seeing him on the sidelines, it looked like he really wanted to get out there and show off his stuff. So I completely understand what you're talking about there. But another guy in that cornerback room, Deron Bland, going into a contract year. What have you heard about his situation?
Right now, he's a guy that doesn't really care about the contract talks. Like, he's someone that just wants to go out there and ball. Like, I know he had obviously an injury that kept him out half the season last year, but he's someone that wants to get back to that NFL league leading pick six guy this year potentially. But I know yesterday they had him working in the slot. Of course, with the big loss of Jordan Lewis, we need someone that can play inside and out. So right now they're just trying to figure things out of where he will fit. Most likely they'll continue to keep him outside, of course, but every now and then they may have to kind of slide him inside because right now we don't have a true nickel cornerback right now.
Another guy in looking for a extension is Micah Parsons. Has he been in attendance these first 2 days?
So he has not been here for practice, but that was something that actually we got a chance to hear from Brian Schottenheimer on yesterday, is that even though he may not be here, again, it is voluntary right now. He has been to the most important things. Like he has been in the building for meetings to kind of help guide some of the guys. He has been at outside fundraisers that teammates have had. He's been at, somewhat of that kind of contact that rookies can reach out to as well. And something that, Shotty did make sure to tell him is that, like, I do need you here in this building just because I need you as a leader. And he's been receptive to that. So I know he's been around. I actually have seen him here, but he has not been at practice the last couple of days. And I don't expect him to be at too many voluntary practices, but just know Micah's getting his work in.
Yeah, and I'm assuming they're not going to let him go. I mean, obviously a contract will get done at some point. It's just a matter of when. But you talk about Brian Schottenheimer, kind of an unknown going into this season, and a lot of people scratching their heads at the hire. But it seems like a typical Jerry Jones hire where, like, hey, he could end up being Jason Garrett, where it's like 9-7, 8-8, but he could make the playoffs, or who knows, he could be the greatest Cowboys coach of all time. There's just an unknown there with Brian Schottenheimer. So what were your thoughts on that hire, and how far do you think he can go this season?
I'm not going to lie to you. I was very confused. I was like, what are we doing here? We have so many options around the NFL that you can go try and attack that can bring you a winning culture here and a winning team. But that's also, I'm now looking at myself like I'm crazy because you just never really know what somebody can bring when they have not had the opportunity. And so since day one, Shotty has not changed who he is. He has not changed what type of culture he wants to bring here. He's been very adamant about it. And you can kind of see like the difference in respect that Jerry Jones, and I don't want to throw shade right now. I just want to let it be known that you can see the difference in like respect that Jerry Jones in the front office has for him. As far as the coaching staff, he had a voice in terms of who he wanted to bring in the players. If he wants a player, best believe Jerry Jones respects him enough to go and get that player like George Pickkins. So you're seeing that relationship, that front office coaching staff relationship kind of really be changed a little bit. And the culture here, he's bringing a obviously player first culture, but it's more of like, let me take you guys out to dinner every week, he's paying. So yeah, I mean, the energy's here. Even in press conferences, I feel like I learn a little bit more. I didn't feel like that when it was, McCarthy was kind of like a closed relationship. But yeah, definitely different here. And I'm excited to see what Shotty does in his first year as head coach.
You mentioned George Pickens there. The Cowboys, I said after the draft, need to get another receiver. I figured they would have maybe brought back Amari Cooper, go get Keenan Allen, fill that hole with a veteran receiver, but instead they make the move to go get George Pickens. What do you think about that? Because I like George Pickens. I think he's very talented. But my thought process through this is if Mike Tomlin's willing to move on from a guy, probably not the best pickup. But what do you think about it?
I mean, you look and you see like some players just need a different change of scenery. I mean, that's just what it is. And I know for a fact that, can we just say hello? Like Dak finally has a true reliable receiver, and that's no shade, of course, to guys like Jalen Tolbert, Jalen Brooks. They just need a little bit more developing, and you need someone that can come in and be a playmaker right out the gate. George Pickens had a couple of big catches in practice yesterday. I was able to look at the tweets and see because I would obviously had to miss out. But no, I mean he will be another threat to a defense. Finally, take some pressure off of CeeDee Lamb. It's gonna be a lot of fun to watch. I know Shotty had mentioned that he was a guy that he was very adamant about going to get. And so for Jerry to make that happen after the draft, and nobody knew about it. Like, this was the first time that it's been so silent. They've been making silent moves, and we just all of a sudden hear that the Cowboys are just casually bringing George Pickens. Okay, one of the best receivers in the NFL. Got it. Cool. So yeah, no, it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited to see what CD and him are able to do together.
Nicole Hutchison joining us today on Pirate Radio Live. I look at the running back room and I get kind of concerned because it's Javonte Williams, Miles Sanders, and then two rookies. How do you think that running back room will fare this season? And you think they're going to be looking to add maybe somebody else to that room?
I don't think they're looking at anybody else. I think they've made it clear that these are the guys they have, and these are the guys that they want to make it happen with this running game. And honestly, with the personnel that they have, I think that they can make something shake. It really just depends on how this offensive line performs. And our offensive line last year did not hold up too great. I mean, you had to battle injuries with Zach Martin, guys like Zach Martin, and you had younger guys, Brock Hoffman, who played well in place of him, but TJ Bass, those guys hadn't really gotten the reps that they needed. So depending on your offensive line and how consistent they can stay, will depend on how well your running back performs. And that's unfortunate because you have some teams like a Saquon Barkley who doesn't really, granted, the Eagles' offensive line is phenomenal, but he can make plays on his own. But unfortunately, we don't have that luxury. But I think that Jaden Blue can possibly come and be that not every down back, but it'll be maybe a 1-2 punch with him and Javonte Williams. I'm interested to see about how that goes. I know Miles Sanders and Deuce Vaughn do a little bit of the same thing, so I'm kind of concerned about Deuce. Hunter Lipke, I think, is safe because he's that Swiss Army knife that can be a tight end. He can also be used as a receiver and also as a fullback. So that running back room is going to be interesting to watch for sure.
Yeah, you bring up Saquon Barkley and the Eagles. It was announced just like an hour ago the tush push is not going to be banned. Cowboys struggled with stopping the run last year. Do you think you've seen some improvements just with roster additions and in those first 2 days of practice from that defensive line?
Yeah, that's funny that you say that because I was talking to Marshawn Nealon, rookie last year, now year 2 guy, defensive end. And I was talking to him yesterday in locker room and just asked him, obviously Matt Eberflus wants the front four to be the focal of this defense. Like, you guys were not able to get home with 4. Y'all were having to blitz a little bit more. Is that something that you feel that this personnel can do? He said, absolutely. You see guys like Solomon Thomas, who, when they're trying to stop the run, he's already 10 yards up in front of him at times in practice. Guys like, obviously, Osa as well, who can get up the field very fast as well. So I don't know. I think with also the addition of Donovan Ezeraku, the rookie, he brings a little bit of an edge to him as well. So I think that they're going to have a little bit more success in being creative just with the personnel that they've brought in for sure.
We've talked about the rookie class a little bit here with the running backs and Shavon Revel. Who do you think is an under-the-radar guy that could see a lot of playing time this year?
I'm going to stick with the wide receiver, Trayshawn Holden. I think that just keeping it a stack, I mean, he's not getting paid a lot of money. His signing deal was $2.9 million over 3 years, and none of that guaranteed. So pretty much his signing bonus is $3,000. That's all he's getting. And he brings a competitiveness to him that I don't really see in the rookies. It's a little different. Like, the first thing that he said to us, DallasCowboys.com, was that I'm coming for people's heads. So, if that does not put a threat into that wide receiver room, I don't know what to tell you. But I know that he has a possibility of, if he has a great training camp, I think he could make this roster.
Very nice. Nicole Hutchison joining us today. Before we let you go, schedule came out last week. The Giants have the toughest schedule, I think, in maybe league history. The Commanders have a lot of primetime games. They're going to be under the bright lights. The Eagles are going to be the Eagles. They have a lot of primetime games. Lost a lot on the defensive line. How do you think the Cowboys fare in the NFC East this season?
It's going to be hard. This is a schedule that, I honestly, just from when I've been here, I haven't seen before. And I've just been talking around to former players and things like that. And they've said, I've never seen the Cowboys have a difficult schedule like this, especially for a first-year head coach that's coming in, just still trying to figure out the reins. But I don't know. I think that they have a possibility to finish second in the NFC East. I'm just saying. But it starts out the gate, obviously. You got to be prepared. No more waiting to see what personnel you're going to play like they did last year, weeks after training camp, and still try to figure things out. No, it's got to happen maybe week 1 of training camp. So you're already prepared for the Eagles come week 1. So, time will tell, but week 1 will probably set the tone for how this season's going to go.
Yeah, I was taking a look at the schedule before we started talking, and my thought was they need to get out to a hot start because down the
Yeah.
stretch it's Eagles, Chiefs, Lions, Vikings, Chargers, Commanders. I mean, it doesn't feel like they catch a break there towards the end. So a hot start is definitely needed in Dallas.
For sure. And the stretch of Thursday games as well. Like, I don't think they've ever played that many short games or just a short time to kind of prepare for the next week. So, yeah, it's gonna be a test. But if they can pass this test, man, NFL beware.
All right. Well, Nicole, thanks for your time. Tell the people where they can follow you and catch your work.
Instagram, Twitter, of course, and Hutchison TV. But all my stuff airs on CBS 11 out here or DallasCowboys.com on YouTube. Everything that we air on our broadcast also is on our YouTube channel, and Girls Talk Boys Talk on Twitter as well every day, Monday through Friday.
All right. Thank you, Nicole.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.